Hi, I'm Denise Morecambe.
And I'm Bruce Morecambe, and together we're the founders of the Daniel Morecambe Foundation.
On the 7th of December 2003, our son Daniel Morecambe went missing while waiting to catch a bus on the Sunshine Coast, Queensland. In late 2010, the State Coroner, Michael Barnes, held an inquest into the abduction and suspected murder of Daniel. On the 31st of March and the 1st of April 2011, as part of that process, Brett Peter Cowan provided the following sworn testimony. Were you ever sexually assaulted as a child? No, I was not. And weren't you from a family where sexual assault was a norm or common factor? No.
Questioned about his history of offending, he calmly explained the following. I maintained a sexual relationship for 9 years, which started when I was 10 and they were 6. He then went on to describe numerous other sexual incidents when he was 10 and 11 years old, almost boasting about how he had assaulted dozens of children between the ages of 6 and 8. To distance himself from any possible involvement in Daniel's abduction, he supplied the following chilling answer as his defence. Daniel was out of my age group. I'm interested in 6 to 8 year old boys. This person then disclosed that between the ages of 15 and 18, he had sexual contact with about 30 children of both genders who were aged between 5 and 12 years old.
I have read Cowan's police file. There are many more credible allegations that I will spare you the grisly details. But here is his depraved path, which he was found guilty and jailed. At the age of 18, and while remand, he abducted, violently assaulted and raped a 7-year-old boy in Brisbane. At the age of 24, he abducted, raped and almost killed a 6-year-old boy in Darwin. At the age of 34, he abducted and murdered our 13-year-old son on the Sunshine Coast.
In August 2011, Cowan was charged with Daniel's murder. Evidence provided by covert West Australian police described how Cowan told them he had picked Daniel up from a bus stop to have fun with him. In March 2014, he was found guilty and sentenced to life in prison. Cowan's defence team appealed to the Supreme Court and the High Court, but these appeals were unsuccessful. In April 2019, the Queensland State Coroner handed down his findings. This is a tragedy on so many fronts. It's had its origin when Cowan was himself a child of just 10. The impact that he has had on so many lives and the escalation of violence is evident for all to see.
Cowan's former teachers have reported to us that they witnessed him in the schoolyard exposing himself and parading around with an erection for all to see. Within your professional working life, you may be able to think of occasions where you've witnessed children displaying similar troubling behaviour. Every day that Bruce and I go to work here at the Daniel Morecambe Foundation is another day that we can make a real difference to the lives of children and young people. Our motivations are not embedded in anger. We cannot undo the past, but are driven to make sure that we learn from it and do all we can to make sure it never happens again.
Therein lies the challenge for us all. Can we create an early intervention program that helps parents, carers and professionals in identifying and responding to children and young people who are displaying similar problematic or harmful sexual behaviour? And importantly thereafter, provide appropriate interventions that could in effect change the course of history. Changing Futures is just that.
Within its framework, we are hosting a series of workshops and forums that we believe will change people's lives. It aims to support professionals in our communities who work with pre-teen children to develop the necessary knowledge and skills to prevent this kind of harm from occurring at the earliest possible moment. Daniel's legacy is to keep kids safe. You are also very much part of that solution.